I'm Ashton Addison from EventChain for Investmentpitch Media and FinTech News Network. And today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Reza Bashash, the CTO of CoinField. Reza, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Hi, Ashton. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I'm excited to learn a little bit about CoinField and more specifically the Sologenic project that you guys have just come out with. So Sologenic is looking to bridge traditional finance and crypto. Can you explain what you guys are doing and what you mean by that?
Yeah, so basically, Sologenic is an ecosystem that bridges traditional financial markets, such as stock markets or ETFs, with cryptocurrencies via the blockchain, and specifically the XRP ledger.
Great. So you're using the XRP ledger. You're able to issue stocks, ETFs, other traditional investment products backed on top of XRP, and what I understand, using stablecoins or fiat-backed stablecoins as well. This sounds revolutionary, and we really need this injection into the cryptocurrency community. Is this something that's live right now? When did it come out, and how popular is it right now?
Well, we announced Sologenic 2 weeks ago. And so over the past 6 months, we've been busy working on the whole details, white paper, technology, and all that. Over the next few months, we're going to be building on making the whole ecosystem alive, as in there's a couple of different components to this ecosystem. One is the actual tokenization of these assets, like stocks and ETFs. The second component is the feature for users to use crypto cards that we're issuing via the Sologenic ecosystem, so that they can spend. We call this component the spend part. And the third component is the earn, which is participations into liquidity programs and so on. So we do have a roadmap, and it's on sologenic.com and on the white paper. Mm-hmm. And if anybody's interested to see how and when certain components and features come out, I think that's the best reference.
Okay, great. So I'm really looking forward to this because I've heard of being able to put, Tesla stocks on the blockchain or Apple stocks on the blockchain. Is that one of the first steps, or I'm guessing you have to work with those companies to have them listed on the exchange, or are you able to tokenize anything that's in the current markets?
Well, that's a great question. Sologenic basically does not work with individual companies or securities to issue the stable coins on the blockchain, whereas the ecosystem will have an oracle, and then this oracle will basically be tokenizing all the stocks and ETFs. And the way it works is it works with external brokerage firms. So let's say a traditional brokerage firm who deals stocks or ETFs will essentially be selling or buying these assets and securities from the Sologenic ecosystem, and then we issue it on demand on top of the XRP ledger. So it's not that we're going to be handpicking a couple of different companies. We're going to be releasing over 25 different stock exchanges around the world. NASDAQ, NYSE, Hong Kong, London. So there's actually going to be a lot of stocks issued on the XRP ledger. And like I mentioned, these are all on demand. So let's say that you're interested in a specific company that's being traded on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. Mm-hmm. Then you can come to the to Sologenic and buy that stock, tokenize it, and either keep it or trade it on the decentralized exchange. So the decentralized exchange is one of the biggest components of this whole system, that users can trade these assets. So it's not just for you to keep these synthetic assets. It's for you to basically trade and do whatever you could do basically with other cryptocurrencies. So let's say you trade your Bitcoin, you buy something else, you can do the same thing with these assets, sell it on the DEX, either get XRP or Solo or other issued stable coins or stable fiats.
Wow, Reza, that's amazing. From what I understand, you're actually integrating all of the stock exchanges around the world, and this isn't just an American markets thing. With American investors being able to buy something that's on the Nasdaq, you can actually, through the decentralized exchange, have a global market. And have you guys targeted outside of America specifically as well? And do you see a lot of traction coming from there, or where do you expect the core user base and stocks to start coming from as the project continues to grow?
Well, first of all, Sologenic is not going to be released in the US initially. So our basically our expectation is to cover the rest of the world, and excluding some of the countries that are sanctioned, or we're still doing some regulatory clarifications with them. But essentially, the question that you have is whether this solves the access to certain stock markets from different countries. Yeah, absolutely. So I would say, for example, somebody in a different continent, even though if they don't have access to banking or financial markets such as stock markets in their country, they can do it through the blockchain and using the Sologenic ecosystem to buy these foreign assets that are issued on foreign exchanges like Nasdaq and so on. So it's not that we're targeting the US. We're going to be having these individual exchanges from different places around the world, and we're opening this platform for anybody who can come and buy and trade and spend and earn these assets.
That's great. Well, thank you, Reza. Now, my next question is about the XRP ledger. You guys are building fiat-backed stablecoins on the XRP ledger and utilizing this for Sologenic. Is there a reason that you've specifically chosen XRP? Is it the best blockchain use case for this? And were there alternatives that were considered?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. A lot of people know the XRP as a coin, whereas there is a whole blockchain behind the whole, the XRP. So this blockchain is specifically designed for certain banking functionalities, like transfers of values. Like I'm sure for example, MoneyGram now works with Ripple and uses this blockchain to transfer fiat from one part of the world to another in just a matter of seconds. So essentially, this blockchain is designed for fast and secure transactions for such purposes. And it does indeed offer many great features on the ledger, for example, the decentralized exchange, or the ability for IOUs or currencies to be issued on the ledger. So think of it as the Ethereum ERC20 kind of ecosystem, but whereas the XRP ledger has its own methods and ways for other coins to be working on their ledger, which is pretty fast and secure, and it's pretty simple to work with, to be honest. And we're actually building a lot of tools for developers, and we're also developing and releasing our own libraries that we write on top of the XRP ledger, so anybody else can use these libraries, open source libraries, and build on top of it as well.
That's really great, and I know that it really all is about the tools for developers and having a great developer base to be able to push out strong products to have a great company. So I'm glad that you guys are working on that. I'm interested to know a little bit more about now Sologenic's been launched. What's the development roadmap for the next 6 months, and what do the users have things to look forward to?
Well, yes, basically Sologenic, right now we are in the development and the IEO stage. So over the next few months, first of all, we'll have an official announcement of the project, which is going to happen in Malta in November, which is next week. Mm-hmm. And so we actually have the official announcement taking place in the Malta Blockchain Summit. And after that, there are a few milestones to be met. One of them is the IEO, and that's going to happen on CoinField, which is basically the company behind Sologenic, and Sologenic is backed by CoinField. A couple of few other milestones that we're going to be meeting before the end of the year is releasing some of these SDKs on services like GitHub and other places like NPM. So basically, these are the couple of milestones we have to meet before the end of the year. After the first of the year, we have the second phase of the IEO and essentially the release of the ecosystem. And it's a big development for us, and that's why we call for all the community developers and see if they're interested in building with these tools, so they can join. We can join forces with these developers and see if they can, put their knowledge and their expertise into Sologenic and the XRP Ledger.
Mm-hmm. Great. I know CoinField has a lot of users trading on the exchange right now. So that's interesting to hear that you're going to be doing an IEO through CoinField. So I'm sure it will be quite popular. And you're also announcing it at the Malta Blockchain Summit, which is an amazing event that drew thousands and thousands of people last year. And I wish I could go to it. So best of luck there. Could you give us more information about, well, as much as you can before this announcement, on what to expect on when the IEO may be and what the users will be receiving by participating?
We have all the details on the white paper. So the first IEO, like you mentioned, is happening on CoinField. And so we basically select a number of VIP users or who are eligible and pre-enrolled to this IEO, and will release initially to them. And the second phase of the IEO will be on another exchange, which we can't yet release the name, but it's it's a top exchange that everybody basically knows and trades. Mm-hmm. So the second phase of the IEO will be traded there, but initially CoinField will be hosting the first round, and Solo will be released. The amount, how much it will be released, and the prices and all that is on sologenic.com mm-hmm. or the white paper. So if anybody's interested in that, they can go there and see the prices, the initial token values, and the rounds, and how to basically apply and get themselves whitelisted for the IEO.
Okay, great. So I'm guessing, obviously, you have an account on CoinField and register for some kind of waitlist to get to the priority VIP list.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's great.
So as soon as the KYC is done, users can basically, all the instructions are on the Sologenic website.
Yeah. That's great. And are the Solo tokens used as the ETFs and stocks are created to bridge the finance, or how is the token specifically used in the growing platform?
Solo tokens are used for many purposes. Like they have many purposes, and they're used for different functionalities and features. One of the bigger roles of Solo tokens are for the liquidity. So we use Solo coins as liquidity to settle with brokerage firms and stock exchanges. And so that's basically how the assets will be transferred and, will be settled with these firms. Another Solo coin feature is the use of it towards the community, and basically we're building the decentralized ledger and all that. So we want to spend it on not only Sologenic, but also other projects that are, they have the same goals and, visions as we do. So if the community is, Well, so far we actually got a really good and nice feedback from the community, and everyone's really interested to see these, tokens issued on the XRP ledger. And so we're only covering, stocks and ETFs for the time being, and then we have a longer roadmap that will cover more assets to be tokenized on the ledger. But we're also encouraging everybody else to join in forces and come in and so that we can use these technologies that we built, the open source, the soul coins, and all that towards this cause.
Mm-hmm. That's great, Reza. And if there are other investors or just strategic partners or maybe more developers that are looking to get involved with Sologenic, what's the best way for them to reach out and to find more?
Well, yeah, we have all the information on sologenic.com. So the white paper, the one pager, all the information is basically in there. And we have links for people who are interested. My expectation is that within the next few days, we'll have our first official open source SDK released. And that's when we're going to make a call for developers to join in.
Great. Awesome. Well, I'll leave those links in the description box below. And that's all the time that we have today, Reza. But Sologenic sounds like a truly interesting project, and I'm wishing you guys all the best. And let's follow up in the near future.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ashton. Thanks for having me.